The announcement that Henry Cavill's Warhammer TV series has finally been given the green light is still playing on my mind, and for all of the right reasons. I have loved seeing so many different opinions of where people can envisage it going, and I'd like to talk about mine. If you're new here, hi, I'm Alex. I create content about all things nerdy, and today we're talking Warhammer 40k. While 40k is known in nerd culture, it will definitely need some explaining to mainstream audiences, those type of people that tend to head over to Prime just to sort of see what's trending in the top 10, click on something random. That first show, it needs to first and foremost just ease audiences in. Let them dip their toes into the immense world that is Warhammer 40k, and then later in the season, maybe building up Space Marines off screen first, you can then show some bolter, next level kill team taking out their Xenos Chaos scum. Space Marines definitely need to feature, but I'm not sure they would make great POV characters, so normal ground level humans trying to survive some pretty messed up stuff would probably be the way to go. I genuinely think an Inquisition show would be a really great way to introduce 40k to wider audiences, especially if you give time to the warband. So predominantly it's going to need to be human focused to begin with, especially for people that are new to it, which is why Guard or Inquisition is going to be good. Henry has specifically mentioned Aaron Dembski Bowden's books before in interviews, so we know he's a big fan of those. But I'm not sure they'd be the first series that they would adapt because they're solely Marine-centric, and like I mentioned, I think they need one with plenty of regular people, regular human characters, just to get the ball rolling. I've seen a fair few people wanting to jump straight in, jump right in there at the deep end with the Horus Heresy. But the thing that about Horus Heresy is it's written as this long game that's played over multiple years in dozens of locations with a cast of hundreds. It's basically Game of Thrones in space, but 10 times more complex. And I think it might freak new people out a little bit. If it's not an original story, as I mentioned before, my money is on Eisenhorn as an intro point, or even Gaunt's Ghosts. So let me explain why, without spoilers in case you want to give them a read yourself. They both centre around Imperial Guard characters, with only a small featured section of Astartes. So for example, in Eisenhorn, there's an easy Space Marine that's basically a Bond villain, and it's absolutely fantastic. I think these would be a perfect place to begin adaptations of 40k as a whole, because for one, they would be great tests for the CGI that will have to be used while still feeling or presenting itself as more of a human-focused story, almost like testing the waters to see what works and what doesn't work before going full-blown Bolter Astartes drama. Thinking about Eisenhorn, if you aren't familiar with his story, as I mentioned, there are no spoilers, it's just an overview. He's a highly skilled Inquisitor of the Ordo Xenos, which means he's part of this special group within the Imperium of Man that is tasked with protecting humanity from alien threats and heretical activities. Think of Inquisitors as detectives, or like secret agents in a very dark and complex galaxy. They have a lot of power and authority, often working independently to root out dangers to the Imperium. What makes Eisenhorn really interesting, though, is his character development throughout the series of novels written by Dan Abnett. He starts off as a rather traditional Inquisitor, staunch, determined, but as the story unfolds, you see him grapple with moral dilemmas and the sometimes blurry line between right and wrong. He's known for his intelligence, his resourcefulness, a bit of a rebellious streak. He often challenges the rigid rules and dogmas of the Imperium. Eisenhorn is also accompanied by this diverse cast of characters, including loyal allies and even some morally ambiguous individuals, which I think it adds depth to the stories. His adventures take readers through thrilling mysteries, intense battles, and rich explorations of the Warhammer 40k universe. I just think he's a great starting point for anyone wanting to dive into the lore. Now, as I mentioned, Gaunt's Ghosts, I mention this because it's a popular series of novels also written by Dan Abnett. The series follows a group of soldiers. They're known as the Tanith First and Only, also affectionately referred to as Gaunt's Ghosts. They're this regiment made up of soldiers from the planet of Tanith, which was destroyed by enemy forces. The remaining survivors, under Gaunt's leadership, they become this tight-knit group of elite soldiers, known for their stealth, their adaptability, and their camaraderie. The nickname Ghosts comes from their ability to operate behind the enemy lines and carry out these covert missions. Colonel Commissar Ibram Gaunt is a key character in this series. He's a dedicated leader, and he balances his role as a commissar, sort of like being responsible for maintaining morale and enforcing discipline. He balances this with a deep sense of compassion for his men. He's known for his tactical brilliance and his ability to inspire loyalty among his troops. The series explores themes of friendship, sacrifice, and the harsh realities of war. It delves into the personal stories of the ghosts, showcasing their struggles, their triumphs, and the bonds they form in the face of overwhelming odds. Each character has their own unique background and personality, which adds depth to the narrative. The stories are filled with action, battles, strategic warfare, but also they focus on the emotional and the psychological aspects of being a soldier in such a brutal universe. Readers get to really experience the camaraderie and the challenges of the ghosts as they undertake these various missions throughout the galaxy. And again, for me, it's another fantastic entry point into Warhammer 40k lore. It blends military science fiction with this rich character development and thrilling storytelling. So if you enjoy tales of heroism, loyalty, and the complexities of war, then this series is definitely worth diving into, and one that I'd definitely nudge Henry Cavill in the direction of, if I could, if he ever, maybe I get lucky and he watches this. So here's hoping. But anyway, please comment what you think. Please let me know. I'm loving it. The Reddit debates are getting quite intense, but everything else is really interesting to me. So please let me know where you would like it to go. Or if you're one of those crazy people that wants to jump straight into the Horus Heresy, then introduce yourself, come and say hi. As always, thank you so much for watching my videos. Please do what you need to do to support my tiny channel, and I hope to see you in the next one.